Well, hello and welcome to another edition of the Morning Serve. It is great to be with you. Todd Woolbridge joins me. Todd, thanks so much for your time.
Tom, always good to be here and looking forward to another exciting day here at the AO.
Particularly headlined by Nick Kyrgios. I mean, he's such a box office entertainment package. How did you see his first round performance? You were there up close watching.
Well, I got to call it, and I must say, when Nick comes on at the Open for the first time, for me, it's like lighting that switch. It's that bit of energy that the tournament needs, and it feels like it started. So that match in John Cain Arena, it was great. It was atmosphere from the very first point, and I've got to say, I thought Nick turned up as into the match emotionally controlled as I've seen him for a long time. So, that's a good sign, considering he played no matches coming in at all.
Great point you make about John Cain Arena. It's a place he loves, as opposed to Rod Laver.
Yeah, absolutely it is. He goes 10 wins to 3 losses on John Cain Arena. And then when he goes into RLA, he's only 1 win to 4 losses. So, generally when he's in Rod Laver Arena, he's playing the big names with Big Rafa or Andy Murray and those types. And then, again, he's playing Minaur Medvedev. So he's going to be really tough in that environment. It's a little bit more corporate, nice, well-mannered, behaved audience in Rod Laver Arena, as opposed to his crowd when he goes to John Cain. So he's going to have to find something special to be able to get the energy that he likes, to create the chaos that he likes, to be able to beat Medvedev.
It's a really fascinating point you make about his crowd. It's like he needs that day pass crowd that give him that energy that he feeds off.
Yeah, but you know what? Medvedev is quirky. He brings his own sort of strange energy to matches, and I think that is a good thing. I saw Medvedev talk about the potential matchup in press, and he's just, he says this is the popcorn match. So he actually is going to be right into it himself. He's going to enjoy it. He's going to bring that dynamic. But look, he's the informed player on tour. I mean, winning that US Open and what he was able to do at the end of the year and how he's played already in Australia, I think Nick's going to have to do something special. He's actually going to have to try to get in the head of Medvedev, to rattle him, to engage him, to take him out of the ball striking and the actual form tennis-wise that he brings.
I think that's exactly it. Most people would say Medvedev should just win this match.
Yeah.
How does Nick break it down? How does he get into this match and potentially cause a big upset?
Well, for Nick to win, he has to serve really well, and he's got to keep points short. That's a hard thing to do against Medvedev. Medvedev basically returns from the other side of the Yarra River, and that's what he does to get the ball back into play. And then he's going to want to work Nick from corner to corner and make him have long rallies. So Nick's going to have to serve well, keep things short, and keep Medvedev off rhythm, because Medvedev is a rhythm player. He wants to be out there for a long time hitting balls. So you've got 2 very different styles trying to go head to head against each other. We'll see who's able to sort of dominate. Nick's also, one more thing, is that he's got to probably win quickly. The longer the match goes after coming back from COVID, coming back from no match play, only 15 tournaments he's played in the last 2 years. There isn't miles in the legs in terms of that match play. Looks like he's been training okay. He looks fitter than he was this time last year, but there is no substitute for matches.
No Novak. Medvedev right now, is he the deserved favourite? Certainly that's the case for the bookies.
He is the deserved favourite, but I've picked Zverev to win his first major here. I just think his run over the last couple of years, he's been in semis, Roland Garros semis, the US Open. I think he's the one that looks more like the breakthrough that might happen here. So some really good stories. Rafa's the other story too.
Yeah.
I think he's the one that could ease his way through.
And under the radar, strangely.
And great preparation, even though he's been injured. So, I'm looking forward to watching this all unfold.
Sam Stosur, loving this story. 37 years of age, has said it's her last singles campaign. Do you think she can harness that energy and form from her first round and take it further?
Yeah, I think she can. Look, I did 2 sessions with Sam on court in December, and the first one was supposed to be about coaching. We spent the first 20 minutes talking about should she play or not at this Australian Open, and I said, you should. Why shouldn't you deserve the opportunity to finish here on your terms, in terms of your singles career that has been so incredible? And what I saw in that opening round is she's been nervous playing here the last 5 or 6 years. It's been pretty ordinary, and she, I think, openly will admit that now. She didn't at the time. But what I saw there was nerves, because she always going to be in it, but it wasn't like the sandbags on the shoulder that has been with her. Yeah. And so she was really enjoying it, and she loved it. And you could see just winning that one match was, it was unshackled for her. And I like it. I think she can continue on. how deep. So I don't expect her to go that deep, but I don't think she's worried about that, and I think she's going to get all of that accolade, all of that public support and warmth that she deserves from what has been an incredible run.
It's a great point, and I just wonder, Todd, has she always gotten the respect she deserves? Grand Slam champion, top 10 player, wonderful legacy, but do you think people recognise how good she has been?
No, I don't actually. When you put it out in front of them, they go, oh yeah, but because she's been such a quiet demeanour about the way she goes about things, she's not outspoken, she behaves perfectly, she's been outshone by Nick and some of the guys that we've had here. But 4 in the world, wins the US Open, beats Serena to win that US Open.
I mean, that in Serena's peak is next level.
Yeah, absolutely. But it shows how good she was, how good the serve was, how good the forehand was. You throw in doubles titles, mixed doubles titles, number 1 in the world in doubles as well. So it's extraordinary, and I think we've got to celebrate the fact that what she did. What she did was a springboard for Ash Barty to be able to do what she's doing now. It was an Australian player that showed that you could do this on the world stage, and then Ash has followed in her footsteps and done even better.
It might be a bit harsh, but should she have won more slams? She had a lot of talent. Should she have won more than the one?
Look, maybe she could have stuck another one. I think if French was certainly there, that might have got away for her. But look, you can't live in hindsight, and she certainly, I think, got everything out of her game that she could have. And at that peak, it was about the biggest serve in women's tennis, the kick serve, and the biggest forehand. The rest of the game held together to be able to showcase those. And as she's got older, those 2 weapons have just diminished just enough to make it hard to keep competitive.
And just finally on Sam, her legacy to Australian tennis?
I think it's about her sportsmanship. It's about the way that she's carried herself. She's been an absolute true professional, and when I look at that, I think she is an Australian athlete in different times where a lot of our athletes have either behaved poorly or misjudged themselves in the public domain. She's done none of that, and she finishes her singles career as one of the greats of Australian sport.
Well said. One player who we enjoyed watching, a bit of a shaky start, was Alex de Minaur. Dropped the first set, and I think everyone took a deep collective breath, but then he got through in 4 sets.
Yeah.
That extra work that he was made to put through, a good thing?
A good thing. Look, this is the first time for me in a couple of years that Alex has come into this tournament actually prepared the right way. So, and I say that because he started the year off so well in Sydney with ATP Cup, or the year before that tournament winning the Sydney International, and that has taken away a little bit in terms of being underdone. When he got here, he had some injuries, and he played too much almost. This time he played the ATP Cup, had the week off, and I think it was a perfect prep. The Musetti, who he beat in the opening round, watch out. 19 years of age, another Italian on the world stage who is going to be a brilliant player in the next 5 to 7 years. He led Novak Djokovic 2 sets to love on the centre court at Roland Garros, lost in 5, but that's the quality of the opponent that he had to beat in the opening round yesterday, Alex. So, that for me is a really good sign and a window of opportunity in his draw.
Well, Todd, the draw really opens up for Alex now, doesn't it? Because of a few things that have happened off court, and he could meet either Jannik Sinner or Andy Murray in the 4th round, but there's a real window for him now. Yeah,
there is, because Casper Ruud did his ankle, had to withdraw, so a lucky loser goes into that spot. So, you have to be ready to take advantage of when that door opens and an opportunity arises. I think that Alex is right in that space to be able to do that. 4th round, Sinner and Andy Murray. Well, look, Sinner, talk about Italians, they seem to be everywhere in the men's game at the moment. He's at gun. That would be a tough match. Andy, coming off what he's been able to do, who knows what goes there. But I think they're winnable. They're tough, but they are winnable. He's been in the quarters of a US Open already, Demon, and he would love nothing better than to be able to go deep at this Aussie Open.
Have you seen any improvement from de Minaur from 2021 going into this 2022 season?
In confidence and attitude.
Yep.
I still think he is a work in progress. I think technically there's a few shots, serve, forehand, that can continue to get better. They're not bad. This is constructive.
Yeah.
If he does that, he's going to keep going like that. But the one thing for Demon, at the end of last year, he was very disappointed at Wimbledon losing 1st round to Sepp Korda, and you could just see a bit of inner thinking and the shoulders drop. how am I travelling? And that's often happens to a young player after they burst on, they settle onto it, and they've got to find a way to rise again. And this year, after having COVID, he really struggled physically to play the matches the way he wanted to after COVID. He's now back in A1 shape, and I think now we can see him take what he's doing here at this Open onto the tour for the rest of the year. And I think he's going to have a really good year, because last year is a year that I think you probably want to forget, and it wasn't anywhere near what he was expecting.
I think if anyone's got the credibility to talk about serve and volley, it's you, Todd. And it's fascinating hearing you talk about that. If you were his coach, would that be perhaps a couple of things just to tidy up, not necessarily change completely?
Well, what I love about Alex's game is it's a complete all-court game. It has to be, because he doesn't have a massive weapon in the serve. So what I'd love to see him do is get a little bit more shape. He has a little sliding serve, a bit like me. You don't want that in this modern game. You want one that's got a big, heavy kick to it, so that you can win more free points or get short balls to attack. He's great at transitioning to the net and finishing off at net. So, they're all elements about improving your game, and he's stubborn. And many of us, I was sort of stubborn too, but he was stubborn in a way where he must make those decisions to keep improving his game to move forward. And I think he's got the right people around him to try and do that.
Todd, it's going to be another massive day. Thanks so much for joining us, and
Pleasure.
calling.
Thank you, Tom.